All right, so today I wanted to talk about snitching and tattling. I keep hearing this a lot throughout all areas of life, and one is like a super hood mindset of it. Where I have videos in here about truth mindset, trap mindset, ignorant or educated, like that. But on both realms, it goes on whether you're in this hood mindset or a regular mindset. Most people tell their kids either don't snitch is what one side is taught, or don't tattle. They're telling their kids the same thing: don't tattle, don't snitch. And the thing I don't like about this is, and here's what I tell the people I work with all the time, and the young people I work with all the time that keep using this: if you're not doing anything wrong, there's nothing to snitch on. There's nothing to tattle on. I tell my kids this. Well, my very own kids, they'll come and tell us, but me and their mama taught them. Grew up learning don't tattle, don't tattle, don't tattle. You don't need to tell on people, blah, 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 which is fine. People need to understand that. Like, we don't need to tattle on everything. But we'll work with our kids in the fact of, come tell us what's going on, and then we'll tell you, this could have been worked out, this is how you could have worked it out. And you're helping them deal with coping mechanisms of, okay, some stuff's worth telling on, some stuff isn't. And if everybody would do this, like, I'm a firm believer of the truth will set you free. And if we're telling the truth, and if we're being honest, and we're doing the right things, if we're abiding by the law, if we're being truth tellers, if we're not doing wrong things, there's nothing to tattle or snitch on ever. Like, and it's crazy to me, but here's the other aspect of this coin. If you're telling your kids constantly, don't tattle, don't snitch, don't tattle, don't snitch, don't tattle, don't snitch, and then later on in their life, you've told them their whole life, don't come tell me stuff, don't come tell me stuff, don't come tell me stuff. And the big problem with this is then when they go through things that they really need to talk to you about, they won't come talk to you. And we're devastated when kids commit suicide or they do these crazy things. And it troubles me and hurts my heart, because I will bet money we told them most of their lives, don't tattle, don't talk, don't snitch, don't tell us stuff. And if you haven't and that's happened, I'm sorry for you. I've lost cousins, family members, and people to suicides, deaths. Like, none of it's fair. I hate it. It's a whole nother topic. Like, I want to do a video on that, but I've tried multiple times and either end up crying or breaking down and not being able to finish it. So we're still working on that one, but it'll come at some point. But those things do hurt us. And like, but back to that main point is, like, don't tell your kids don't snitch and don't tattle. Teach them to tell you the right things, the correct things, and deal with things on their own. We can't sit here and glorify, like, don't ever snitch and don't ever talk, don't ever talk, don't ever tattle, don't ever do this. But you're teaching your kids don't do that same thing to you. Like, you're also telling them, don't ever come talk to me about stuff that you might need help with. And at some point, like, men especially, we get this big, proud, like, I gotta be tough and I can't talk about my feelings and I can't talk about my... That is such a crock of shit. And I'll tell you why: because Jesus Christ wanted us together as men, women, groups, people, fellowshipping together, like, to talk about things, like, to really deal with it. Because how do you deal with sin? How do you deal with problems that you have in your life if you'll never talk about them? You can't. You just keep trying to carry on this huge bag, and I always call it a bag. Like, we carry this bag around and we won't leave it at the cross, where Christ paid for all of it. But you can't always leave it at the cross. But the people that I have in my life now, like, I can talk to, and if we're going through things with our marriages, if we're going through things, whatever it is, and you talk to them, they don't just always tell you what you want to hear. They'll tell you, like, do this, brother, do this, do this. I've been through that too. But at some point, we need to get out of this don't tattle, don't snitch, and start talking to one another, because that is the main point of a huge part of our faith, and a huge part of us being people and human beings and humanity. And if we're not going to talk to one another and deal with problems and grow through them, then you just have this shut off, everybody shut off to each other and to the God that created them. Like, we have to learn to talk better and to teach our kids certain skills and life skills and things like that. So one of my big ones is the come talk to us, and then we'll decide, was this worth tattling on or snitching on or whatever you want to call it, and then help them work through these other things. Like, you guys need to learn to do that on your own, because you're going to have to deal with that in life. So that's my 2 cents on the tattling and snitching. But we got to get better at this, people. And don't just tell your kids don't ever do that. Start teaching them which things they should talk about and which things you can work out on your own. I love y'all. Have a good day.